Um, yeah, it was a tough decision that we had to make. With where we are, with looking at our roster, playing time, how that affects us moving forward, and I think that was it made the most sense for us to decline the option. I think with 7 guys on the roster right now that played in the infield last year and had significant time. Barrero, who ended the season in AAA, is out of options. But the 7 guys trying to get playing time: Encarnacion, Strand, India, Steer, De La Cruz, Marte, McLean, and Senzel. They had some guys play the outfield, they had some guys play the infield, but at the end of the day, we felt this was the best decision for us. If you, I'm sorry about the Saturday morning announcement, but I felt it was the best time to do it. I leave for the GM meetings at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I told Joey first thing on Wednesday or Thursday morning, so I told him right away. I gave him he was in Spain, got home at 6 o'clock last night. I gave him time to tell his family. So, I know I saw some of you tweeted out this morning that about the timing of it. That was nothing to do with Saturday morning. It was just this was the best time, and I wanted to make sure that he had time to tell his family before this announcement came. So that's why we did it. So I just with that, I'd open it up for questions.
Is it pretty definitive that this could obviously go all winter? Is there a situation where later this winter you guys could revisit bringing him back, or are you closing the door completely on any re-signing before camp?
I'm not closing the door on anything. I just think with the players we have on our roster right now, there's not playing time. We've got to figure out how to get playing time for some of these players to keep moving forward, and I think that's where we are right now. I mean, something could happen, but as of right now, it's not there.
How much of this was a financial decision, and wherever it was, however much of it was, is there at the end of the off season, will fans be able to look at what the club does and say, okay, that's what they did with the money they saved on Joey?
I mean, we looked at this again as we don't have a spot for him to play right now we don't have at bats for him. We need to get other players at bats. So that's where the decision was.
So just to be clear, the financial aspect of this didn't come into play at the end of the day.
No, did not.
Because of who Joey is to the franchise, were the other players notified before the announcement?
The other players were not notified. Unless Joey did. I told Joey again on Thursday morning. I gave him 2 days to make sure he told whoever he wanted to tell before we announced it.
Was there any discussion of a renegotiation or that seemed to be one? No.
Do you guys have a specific first baseman in mind? Is it Encarnacion, Strand, or Steer, or are you not ready to make that kind of commitment yet?
Not ready to make that commitment. I mean, Steer played some outfield last year, played some first base, third base, second base. Christian played a little bit of outfield in AAA, but he played mostly first, mostly DH. So we got to make sure we're trying to get other guys playing time as well.
We heard so much about Joey's influence behind the scenes and as a mentor for some of these young players. Was that part of any concern about making a decision like this? And will that in turn possibly be a priority of the offseason, finding some level of the backfill for that?
I would say right now, if you look at our position players, we've got a lot of players on the team. I wouldn't say that we're going to focus on just adding this or that. I think we just have to figure out how to make our team better.
Anything else? How much was ownership part of this conversation at the end of the day?
I've discussed this with Bob multiple times. We had a lot of conversations about this, and we didn't make a decision until earlier this week. So I told you guys that it was going to take a little while, take some discussions, and we discussed that all the way through the last couple of weeks.
Talking about playing time like you did looking forward to free agency, do you feel pretty good about the position player group you have? Would you look to add a bat? How do you feel about that group?
Yeah, I wouldn't rule anything out, Charlie. I think we need to figure out how to improve our club and make our club better. Whether it's bringing in pitching or position players, bring in, some more versatility, bring in, outfield help, whatever that would be. I think we just need to look at how we can make our club better going into the free agent market.
Have you been given the financial parameters of what you have to work within?
Yes.
Are you able to have room to spend some money more than maybe you did this past off season?
Yes.
Is the budget higher than it was last year?
I'm going to decline to tell you what our budget is.
When you're looking at a decision like this with Joey Votto, I mean, you make player moves all the time, almost every day. But when you look at a player like Joey Votto and the emotional connection he has with Cincinnati and how long he's been here, how does that add to trying to make that decision for you?
It makes it a tough decision. Joey's been here. I've known Joey for 21 years. He got drafted the year before I started. First time I met him was in the minor leagues. He's been a staple in our major league team for a long time. He's won an MVP, almost won another one. He's been influential in the community, in the clubhouse, and everything he's done has been first class. And this was a tough decision. I think there was a lot of conversation about the decision, about where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do, and we just felt this was the best decision for us. But as a person, you couldn't have a better person than Joey Votto.
Are you able to speak?
Sorry.
Are you able to speak to how Joey Votto received that news?
I had a conversation with him on Thursday morning, but I'm going to leave the details of that private. If you would like to discuss it, then that's fine.
Nick, given the relationship you just described, what do you suppose your reaction will be seeing him in another uniform?
It'll be tough. It'll definitely be tough. I think, but we, like I said, it would be tough to have him as like just a pinch hitter bat off the bench as with the way our roster is constructed right now. So, I respect whatever he wants to do next. I mean, if he plays in another uniform, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to watch. But if we don't have that playing time here for him, then I understand why he would want to do that as well.
Kind of putting you on the spot here, but like watching Joey Votto as closely as you did for so long, did any of that shape the way you view baseball or hitting or anything like that?
I don't think it shapes the way I view it. I think I viewed it a lot of, I love offensive players that are like Joey Votto, guys that get on base. He was a middle of the order bat, 30 home runs and get on base with a 400 clip for his career. That's a pretty good player, no matter who you are or what you're watching. So, he's been a premium player. He's going to be a Hall of Fame player. In my mind, I think he's going to go into the Hall of Fame with a Reds cap on, and I'm really excited to see that. And I want to be there when that happens one day. But, I think, but yeah, he was just a joy to watch.
Nick, are you guys too right-handed? Do you guys need a left-handed bat?
I wouldn't say we are. I think we're kind of balancing out, some playing time. I think that, you're right. We do have, if you got three outfielders that are right-handed or that are left-handed in Fraley and Friedel and Benson, and then you've got Ellie that can switch hit in the infield. I think you can go against a right-hand pitcher. You can be pretty balanced if you're playing those guys. Now, do we have a bat off the bench? Maybe not, but I think that's maybe like trying to figure out who fits best there.